Hello everyone, welcome to this week's art therapy video. This week I wanted to do a mandala drawing tutorial. So mandalas actually have quite a deep spiritual meaning to drawing and looking at mandalas, but this week we're just going to cover the actual shape and how to create those shapes, and you can branch out from there. So you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, and a pen. This one I'm using is waterproof pen. You're also going to need some circle shapes. Anything around the house works. I happen to have this fancy circle ruler, but I often just use bottle caps and lids and things like that. So I'm starting from the outside, but you can actually start from the inside as well. You're going to draw a circle and use a ruler to measure the halfway point of the circle to find the middle point. We're using a pencil to do this, so if you make a mistake of where you put the middle, that's absolutely fine because you can just go over and erase the pencil and correct it. So here I actually did kind of mismark the middle point, and you can see that I'm just going to go in and fix that, and it's really no big deal. Just have an eraser on hand. The next step is to take smaller and smaller circles into the middle of the mandala. So using the shapes that you have on hand, just keep going around until you get to the center. How big the center is totally up to you. See what feels right. And then when we start drawing from the center. So here's what we have. I've actually kept some things in pencil and inked some things as well. I also have this mandala shape sheet that kind of shows the more common shapes that you see in mandalas. I always say, though, when you're drawing one, just go with the shapes that you're more comfortable drawing because you are drawing them repeatedly. It's really therapeutic if you draw a shape you like rather than a shape you're really challenged by. I tend to really go for the half moons and the petals. If you look at my mandalas, you'll see that they all start with those half moons or dots and petals. So when you're drawing a mandala, the idea is that as you draw, the shapes come to you. So you don't have to plan anything ahead of time. You just kind of let your hand move and work with the space. That's why it's really good to make sure that you have a nice, good frame set up before you start drawing, so you can really get into the meditative aspect of it. Just really just repetitive motion and distraction for your brain. So if you make any mistakes, especially if you're working in pen, just keep going. You can always correct mistakes with pen afterwards as well. So I'm going to erase all my pencil lines, which is very satisfying to do, and you're going to be left with the final result, which we're now going to color in. I'm going to use these Copic markers, these flesh-toned ones. I decided to go with a more natural tone, so I've got some greens and some skin tone colors, which is really nice and relaxing. Again, it's all right if you make mistakes. The whole process of mandala drawing is the process, right? So we don't think too much about the finished product or expecting it to be perfect, because then that kind of ruins the experience. Okay, so here's the finished result. I really would love for you to try your own, and please share it with me if you do. Thanks for watching. And if you need a little bit of inspiration, these are some of the recent mandalas that I did for my intention deck, and you can see how varied they can be. They're all different, and that's what makes them fun to draw.